I'm going in. All right, so we're shifting gears. We're still talking basketball, but we're talking about, so we were talking about some of the teams at the top of the standings. Now we're going to talk about some of the teams, or not even the teams, the options for the teams that are in the bottom, you know. So we got several tank type campaigns going on. I heard not trying for Zion.
Which is a great one.
Yeah. So, but I think my question is, it does appear as though Duke's Zion Williamson has emerged as the most coveted draft prospect coming up for this offseason. But I have still some questions, right? Would you rather have Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, or Bol Bol? I think those three guys are the three that are most considered to be the top three prospects in college. But clearly, somebody else can emerge between now and April. But I think right now, those three are the ones. I mean, Rui Hachimura from Gonzaga is probably in the conversation there too. But I feel confident with Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, and Bol Bol as being the three. So I don't know, which one would you rather have?
My mind says Zion is such a freak, and he's such a guy that's hard to compare to people because he's a unique athlete. Um, that you go for that if you have the number one pick. But my heart says RJ Barrett is a better basketball player that would fit the NBA game. He can dribble, pass, shoot. With 6'7", just looks like he can play all three positions. Aggressive, good finishing. I mean, just athletic, like everything. You know what I mean? Like RJ Barrett is one of the most complete college basketball players I've ever seen. I know there's some questions about his inefficiency, but he's a college student, so you know, really, you know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah.
expect him to be a finished. He's a freshman. I don't
Right.
expect him to be a finished product, but as a college freshman, like RJ Barrett is so ridiculous as a college freshman. Like I would pick RJ Barrett, even though I do think Zion is better at other things than being athletic in the capacity that people don't give him a lot of credit for because he's such an outstanding dunker. He has a good feel for finishing around the basket.
Yes.
He has a decent handle. My problem with his handle, though, is he has a full court handle, not a
Hmm.
half court handle.
Yes, exactly.
And so
That's
my
very true.
fear, so I don't want to I'm not dismissing Zion because anybody who picks him, I totally get it. My fear with Zion is right now, we saw a game in Ben Simmons where they just did not play him. And Ben Simmons is excellent at getting to the basket.
Hmm.
Excellent. Great ball handle, right? Great finisher around the basket. And at the end of games, they just stand back and watch him. Now, Zion is theoretically a better shooter than Ben because Ben is like a I'm not shooting kind of guy. But I don't think he's Giannis. See, Giannis, it don't matter how you play Giannis. Y'all can all stand under the basket, all y'all getting dunked on. Zion's just not tall enough for that. And we're seeing it even in college where sometimes he'll get into that high traffic situation where it's just an ugly shot attempt. And I'm thinking, man, if those guys were all 4 inches taller and 30 pounds heavier like they are in the NBA, that's not going to fly. It's not that I don't think he'll be an effective player, but when you're drafting this high, I want a guy that I'm relying on in the fourth quarter, not playing around in the fourth quarter. And
Yeah.
I have not been given reason to believe that Zion will be a guy in the fourth quarter I can give the ball to. Out of all of the guys you mentioned, RJ Barrett is probably by far the one I would want to give the ball in the fourth quarter in an NBA game.
Um, I really, truly, deep in my soul, hate to agree. Yeah, it hurts. Pain very much. But I would agree. When you draft a guy number one, You don't draft a spectacular dunking role player. And that is what Zion appears to be to me. He appears to be one of the most freakishly talented athletes whose height limitations and traditional basketball skill limitations confine him to being a super role player. And I don't think that you can draft a guy like that, number one. The other thing that worries me is for a 6'6", 280-pound kid to depend so much on his elite level athleticism that I wonder how long your shelf life is. Because injuries can happen to anybody, but you wonder, what does it look like when Zion Williamson at 6'6", 280 pounds with a power forward's game loses a step? He's not a great three-point shooter. I don't know that he ever will be a great one, but I'm not sure that Charles Barkley in today's game, with the skill set he had, could be anywhere close to what he was when he played, just because of the way the game is played now, right? Charles Barkley made himself into being a decent three-point shooter. Probably in today's era, he could make himself a little bit better.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is his bring up was very slow. His release was slow overall. He didn't shoot the three as if it was the shot he wanted to take. He needed to get to the basket. And because of his amazing gifts, which Zion's game is different. Zion has, like, people don't realize, early in Barkley's career, he had ridiculous bounce.
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculous bounce. But it still is not compared to the way that Zion runs.
He wasn't the natural athlete that Zion was.
Yeah, Zion runs. And
Charles will even tell you he worked on his vertical.
Yeah.
That was something that he was obviously a great athlete, but he wasn't a world class. Like Zion, he dunked out the crib.
Yeah, Zion could probably be an Olympic level athlete in another.
Yeah. The amount of power it takes to send 300 pounds into the air
that high
at his age,
that high,
insane.
And we're not talking about just barely dunking. We're talking about
it's insane.
Yes.
He's coming down on the rim. He's got LeBron hops.
Yes,
he's got young LeBron hops.
It's insane.
It's so crazy that he does a normal dunk and it's still something to see.
Yes.
So here's my thing. I don't worry about his injury history, because sometimes with a guy like Zion, that build, that athleticism, sometimes they just come injury proof. Right?
LeBron.
Right. And knock on wood. And so, although I guess LeBron's played so long that
LeBron's already passed it. If he was to tear, God forbid, tear something tomorrow,
it don't count.
It don't count because he's already proven it.
That's how I feel about Anderson Silva, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But, I'm glad that's on record though. But so with Zion, I don't worry too much about that aspect of it. It's really the fact that in today's game, let's talk about the shooting for a second. Anybody can improve their shooting. However, the mechanics at the free throw line usually indicate how likely it is you're going to be a much better shooter. You look at Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was actually an excellent overall shooter, but in his era, shooting the three at a high clip was not a highly valued skill in a ball handler.
No.
So
there's no doubt in my mind. Michael in today's game would be a 38% three-point shooter.
100%. Excellent three-point shooter. He would be in today's game. No doubt about it, because all of the evidence points to that.
He'd average 40.
Yeah, because honestly, his three-pointer was better than it needed to be for how great he was at getting to the basket, getting free throws, dunking on you, finishing layups in traffic, and shooting out of the post. He didn't need a free throw because he was better at those things than DeMar DeRozan is. And DeMar DeRozan doesn't do that.
Dude, DeMar DeRozan is averaging 26, 27 points a game last year, and he can't shoot from distance. Not even as good as Mike.
And Mike in an era that didn't need the three, shot better at the three. But this ain't about Mike, this is about Zion. And the problem with Zion is that his mechanics don't look good right now. So he's going to have to build a jumper because he doesn't have a quick flowing release that just needs to be tweaked. We discussed Frank Ntilikina earlier. Frank's form looks good. Same thing with Kevin Knox. His form looked good. So he was shooting very cold when the season started, but you expect it just looks like this guy can shoot. And now he's shooting great. He's shooting almost, I think, 40% for the month or something like that. So, Zion is the opposite. Even when a shot goes in, you're like, but
I don't know if you're going to hit the next one.
Yeah. Keep convincing me. So I don't know how solvable that is. And without a shot, it's hard to say, man, I don't know if you put it great. I think role player might be harsh. But it might.
But I said super role player.
But the thing is, you talk about the number 1, number 2 draft pick.
Exactly.
It might be harsh, but it also might be true.
Yes.
Because there's a reality, and if this goes wrong, people are going to pull up this footage and call me crazy.
Yes.
But right now, while they are freshmen, if Cam Reddish gave his team closer to the ceiling of what they expected from him, more than Zion did, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, that's not me saying Cam Reddish will be a better NBA player. But if they brought Cam in to hit shots and D up and play overall intelligently and fill his role, Cam Reddish might do that even better than you expect him to do. Mm-hmm. Whereas with Zion, you're pulling him in saying, you're a freak, you're a monster, you're going to change our franchise. The fall from that is much farther, especially if you can't shoot. And we've already said the guy can defend. He shows effort on defense. Intelligent kid.
He plays hard.
Great attitude. Plays hard. Good instincts around the rim in addition to the athleticism. So we're not just thinking that he's a dunker. The fact of the matter is he's short and he can't shoot, and that's terrifying.
You know who the comp that comes to my mind for him is Kenneth Faried.
I can understand how you would say that, although the thing is, I don't make that comparison because Zion, as a guy with the ball in his hands, just looks like a much better offensive player than Kenneth Faried.
He has much better footwork.
It's not just the footwork, it's everything, right? We've talked about how there's the invisible part that we haven't really calculated yet to athleticism.
Yeah.
Same thing with NBA skill. Zion has, I don't like using these words, but just his feel, his rhythm, his seeing of the lanes. Like him and Kenneth Faried see the game differently. Even when you're only talking about here's the ball, go dunk. They just see it differently. And that matters because everybody with good athleticism isn't a good in-game dunker. Zion sees the spaces for those opportunities to make plays at the basket. His hop step is ridiculous. Just his hop step alone.
This is it.
If you just gave Kenneth Faried the hop step, he'd earn $5 more million a year.
The fact that this kid can split double teams with this hop step that he uses is crazy. Like he can be going left and he'll gather going right on the hop step at the same time. So he's like going left, hop step to the right through a double team, and then the next hop is the explosion for the
crazy.
dunk.
I mean, it's crazy. It's the Zion step. Like he does it so fast and so accurately. That's the other thing. There's an accuracy to that, right? To where you go, to seeing those spaces. It's a game of inches at that point when you're going to the rim and everybody's moving that quickly. And he's getting to that spot faster than everybody. So I wouldn't compare him to Faried because even if you were to say that their offensive skills from a fundamental standpoint were similar, his instincts are so much better than Kenneth Faried's. I would never expect Kenneth Faried to take the ball from half court, run into the middle of the lane, make a move, and dunk on people on a consistent basis. But Zion I expect that from Zion. My problem is that enough? I don't know what to put around that.
Can you do that on the next level?
In the half court, which is my question. It's actually two questions. One, Can he do it in the half court? Which is a big issue because his handle, I don't think, is a good half court handle at this point. It's a good full court handle. But in the half court, NBA defense, I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe. He's young.
Maybe.
He's a kid. He's a kid. He can develop.
The reason why I say Kenneth Faried is because I don't know. And I guess if you draft a number 1 or number 2, I guess you give him this opportunity. But I don't know if a coach that he gets with in the NBA is going to give him the freedom and the autonomy to do some of the things that he's been able to do at Duke, grabbing rebounds, going full court, that sort of thing. Are they going to give him that freedom?
It's for the same reason Kobe Bryant got that gigantic contract late in his career. Ticket prices. Zion Williamson, any of these bad teams in the league, with the exception of New York, he is going to change how much times they sell out.
Yeah, I mean, because New York's going to sell out anyway. But
I could start for point guard in New York and that still sell out.
Right. but if Zion is in New York, oh my God, it's. I mean, the Knicks are going to be on ESPN 32 times.
Here's the problem, though. If he starts in New York, where do we put him?
To me, I think that he is your small forward. I mean, if you put Porzingis in the middle, I think then he's a 4. And honestly, I can strongly consider playing 5 out.
And that makes sense.
I strongly consider playing 5 out like the Bucks.
I'm not saying it isn't, but right now at this moment in time, I am not convinced that Zion Williamson's ceiling is higher than Kevin Knox's. Right now, I don't know. I'm not saying I do.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that, but now we didn't talk anything at all about Bol Bol.
We didn't.
And it's funny because Bol Bol is compared quite often to Kristaps Porzingis.
Yes,
because the games are similar, the sizes are similar. It's just very difficult for me to say that I would take him number 1.
Why is that, B?
I've seen him do some amazing things on the floor. I'm talking about, I saw him get tripped up to fall to the ground on defense, give the effort to get back to his feet. And in the process of getting back to his feet, he wasn't even fully standing yet, but he gets back up to contest the shot, to block the shot on a jump shot, gets the ball going the other way, and it turns into a transition opportunity. So, I mean, and he can legit shoot from range with some accuracy. The shot blocking is crazy, but what I wonder with him is he's a kid now, right? And he's 7'2", 235 or 245 or something like that now. As a grown man, he's going to be like 270. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, his dad was pretty skinny.
Yeah, but he already weighs more than his dad about now.
Yeah, but that ain't hard. I mean,
right. But I'm saying, like, you got to think that he's going to gain 25, 30 pounds of grown man muscle.
I don't know, because Kevin Garnett.
He's a different dude, though. He's like he's got the thin gene. Like, so really.
Have you seen his dad?
Yeah, he got the Bol Bol might have it too. But I'm just looking at the fact that he's a little heavier already. I think that he's a little heavier already.
He's slim, but he's very tall. He's slim because that's pretty small for that height. And you honestly, I don't think the issue is him getting big. I think the issue is same with Porzingis. Lower extremity injuries are a serious concern at that height.
Yes.
I think Porzingis has done pretty good so far. There's a big difference with Porzingis and Bol Bol in that Porzingis, having played professional ball, is a very high IQ basketball player coming into the league. Mm-hmm. And that was my point with him versus Cat. Well, everybody was like, Cat's way better, way better. I was like, way better? I don't know. Maybe he's marginally better. I'm not sure. But the big thing for me is that Porzingis clearly knows what he's doing. Just literally watch him go down court, come up and set a screen. Watch Cat go down court, come up and set a screen. Cat looks more lost. He wastes more time. He wastes more space. He doesn't do it properly. Now, Cat's getting better with that stuff as time goes on. But Porzingis had that out the gate, and everybody doesn't get that. And so I don't think it's fair to compare Bol Bol because in that respect, they are on different planets. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that heavily factors into those careless plays too. You know, some guys get hurt from being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Bol Bol is kind of that all over the place thing. Like we talked about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis looked like he gonna get hurt on a good 17% of the plays he's in. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you're like, "Whoa, I thought he pulled something doing that." I mean, did he like strain his shoulder dunking the ball by himself? Like he just moved funny. And when you talk about move funny, Bol Bol might be auditioning for the Move Funny Hall of Fame already. He like all NCAA move funny. And I don't trust it, man. I don't trust it. That's why I'm looking at Cam Reddish. You look like an NBA player.
Yeah. Oh, Cam Reddish is an NBA player.
Yeah. Huey,
Cam Reddish is going to have a solid NBA career.
We should talk about Huey real quick. The problem with Huey is that Huey is Japanese. Yeah. And he didn't speak any English. And so he still has that foreign kid problem of spending a lot of time here, not knowing what his coaches are telling him, taking a long time to adapt to the culture. So right now with Huey, there's an element of his game similar to Antetokounmpo, who some people compare him to. Totally unfair comparison.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Well, at this point in their careers, not fair. But with Huey, I think you have to look at how that transition happens before you can fairly evaluate him and what his ceiling will be. Because I think Huey's instincts are a little muddled by the culture adaptation that is still happening with him. Sometimes,
and I think you could kind of say the same thing with Antetokounmpo when he first came in.
Yes, which is why I say now the comparison isn't fair, even though people are making it now. But it's fair to bring him up in the sense that he also had that transition.
Yeah, I don't think that Hachimura is the same freakish athlete that Antetokounmpo is.
No,
he's a great athlete, but not like that.
We on the show we discussed the hands. He ain't got the hands, man.
Yeah,
Antetokounmpo got them crazy.
And I'm not sure if you pronounce his name Huey or Louis because he calls himself Lewis.
Okay, so here's the thing. In Japan, the L's and the R's are the same.
Okay.
And it makes a sound that we don't make in America.
Okay.
So when they say their name, it's in between a lot of our letters. So any name that starts with an R can be substituted for a name that starts with an L when you Americanize it or Western.
There you go. So, your Japanese lesson for today.
I think his name would be pronounced Rui, which is not something we would ever say. We would never say Rui. It's a sound that combines the rolled R, the L, and the H all together. Well,
I'm very glad you expounded upon that.
Hey, happy to help.
I'll be weak. I'm very unique.